Yo, um, Avi here. Um, Today I want to talk to you guys about fear. Um, as human beings, we all have something we're afraid of. And I believe that the biggest thing we're afraid of, especially nowadays, is the fear of overall inadequacy. And what I mean by that is, you know, not being capable or skilled or talented as other people, not going to places that other people go, you know, doing things, these professions, and da 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 da. And, in comparison to them, it's like you don't have it. You basically just don't have it together. And, when you think about it, some people, it's humiliating. You know, it's the reason why a lot of us don't ask for help with anything, because we want to look like we have it all figured out. But the truth is, no one has it all figured out. And we probably never will. If you think about it, do you want to have life all figured out? Life is so vast, so grandiose, so, pardon my French, but it's so fucking big, you know. It's really absurd. Life itself is absurd. And the notion of having it all figured out, if there's anyone who has it all figured out, that's not true. They just are at peace. They come to terms with how little control, they truly have. In this, this whimsical universe. But anyways, this fear of inadequacy, though, it comes from, the constant comparison, to other people like us, you know. Um, we're a social species. We are, we're nosy, we see, oh, well, these guys are doing it, so why not? Why shouldn't we do it? And, as a social species who, we come up with technologies, to further push our endeavors and, make our lives more convenient. Whatever. We also push those technologies that, inquire our social lives. 50 years ago, if you wanted to make friends, they were all in person, or letters and shit, um, and that would be it. Maybe a couple phone calls here and there, but that was on those phone things with the dial-up shits and the ones on the wall and be like, hello, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, and social media's development is crazy. The internet is wild. Like, if I'm not mistaken, like half of the world, 3 to 4 billion of us have social media or have internet, and I think like 2 to 3 billion of us are registered on some kind of social media. Anyways, but like, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz, it really allows us to see a whole lot of other people's business. Like, oh, Miss So-and-so just retired. I mean, good for her, from her job, da, da, da. Like, I know that, fucking Brian Winchester from England, his favorite food is beans on toast. That was very stereotypical, but you get the point, And with all this insight into other people's lives, which me personally, don't put your business out there, or don't put too much of your business out there. Um, because yeah, weirdos and da da da. But also, it's just not everybody's business. Um, let's see. With all this insight on other people's lives, we can, we're able to see some of the more sensitive things. Um, for instance, people's jobs and people's incomes, right? Um, and nowadays, it's real easy to make money for some people and da 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 da. I'm just broke as fuck because yeah. And we can see 20-year-olds. I'm 20, about to be 21 in September. um 18 to 20-year-olds becoming you know world-renowned musicians and shit. Something I wanted to be. I kind of still want to be, but I'm a philosopher. um you know Getting these um accolades and a whole lot of money, and you know and then we're seeing posts of other people jumping into these professions, and da 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 da, right? Just got a whole lot of shit going on, and you're sitting here like, damn, where am I in all this? How am I gonna contribute? you know um you know but the real question you're asking, or the real questions you're asking, not how can I contribute to society, but what can I do? How can I prove that I belong here with all these other people? How can I excel among my people and, my peers, and show, that I'm worthy of respect, love, praise, and adoration or whatnot? Where's my seat at the table? And a lot of us, sometimes including me, are like, why is it taking so long for me to get my life together? And after asking those questions, I think we should ask ourselves, what does it even mean to have your life together? What does together mean for you? Does it involve a family with a couple of kids and a significant other? I'm an ally. In a big house that's, not too close to the city, with maybe a dog or a cat, you know? Or is it like where you never got to work again, and, you can travel the world and visit Athens, Egypt, or Bali, or, you know, um, fucking go to the Nile River and all that shit. Um, Whatever it is, your desires, why do you truly want those things, why do you want the clothes you see in the magazine? Why do you want that game? Why do you want that food? And I know, these are like, these are simple shit. I'm really, I want to be a simple person, but philosophy, when you get into it, you start asking questions about fucking everything, and it's annoying, it is. If I could turn this thing off sometimes, and I can, I'm actually really good at it. I'd be floating around and shit. A lot of people, I meditate twice a day and da da da. Any whoosies. Um, you know, why do you want the career you're aiming for? When it comes to that, most people, I think people need to find their why, for a lot of stuff they do. Well, I say that, and I don't mean like, well, I don't know. It's tricky, because I like to just do stuff. I don't put a lot of thought into really much of anything. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just do. And well, that's great. I'm on autopilot all the time. My thoughts flood after doing the activity, which is really fucking, strange, but, whatever. Um, um, you know, and a lot of these questions, like, for instance, we like to put labels on everything, even, you know, now we've labeled gender specifics to like a T. You know, there was this person, they were like, you know, I'm a, you know, white, demisexual, universalist, Canadian, right? It was like this, like 40, you know, like if they wrote a sentence, it'd be like 47 commas, basically, right? Um, you know, and while I'm an ally, all right, come on, it's gotten a little far. I mean, like, do we need a label on everything? Um, you know, listen, okay, I fuck with the LGTB community. Y'all are my niggas, okay? Theater wouldn't exist without y'all. You know that, right? Okay? Hamilton would have never happened, okay? Glee, I mean, there isn't a gayer show than Glee. And I fuck with Glee, okay? So, relax. No, like, you know, like for instance, why are you a Democrat and not a socialist, or a Christian and not a Catholic? You know, why are you, you know, what? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, you know, why are you, you know, what makes you an American? You know, like these shits, you know, do these, you know, why are you rambunctious and da 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 da? Do these labels you put on yourself actually come from you, or did someone else ordain you with such titles? Um, you know, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, I ask myself, you know, a lot of these questions, you know, like, politically, you know, I don't give a shit about a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm knowledgeable about the world, but I'm not like, oh, you know, we should fix this, then, and third. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a shit. Um, no, I'd like, you know, for us to stop, you know, raping planet Earth for the sake of our convenience, but I'll get to that later. Um, but, you know, like, politically, you know, I'm a mix, you know, like a socialist kind of Democrat, you know, views, you know. Um, you know, but at the same time, you know, Republicans, they, you know, they be tripping like 99% of the time, you know. They're very heavy on tradition. I'm not a traditional person, you know. I'm not saying all tradition is bad, but like, I'm just not. I'm just not. Um, you know, and fucking, but you know, they're right about one thing, you know. Um, the government shouldn't be as involved as they are right now. They shouldn't like the amount of control they have of our lives is kind of wild, you know. So they be spitting with that, you know. Um, so like, yeah, you know, like I can't even say, you know, like my political views. I throw out, you know, Democrat, you know, or socialist or left-ish, you know. I just throw that out for sake of convenience, you know, because you'd have to have a full-on conversation with me, you know. Um, and you know, religion, you know, like, oh my God, I've never, like, nothing has ever plagued the world like religion has. And okay, let me not say that. Let's say there has been no greater good with bad or bad with whatever the fuck you want to say, all right, than religion. I mean, we fight over ideals. We literally wage wars, murder each other, rape. Not I don't, you know what I mean? I don't do that shit. Haven't killed anyone, you know what I mean? I just be killing the game out here, you know what I'm saying? No. But like, we literally wage wars over ideals. You know, I'm really, really, really big on the, Eastern thought. Um, you know, Taoism, Zen Buddhism. Those are my shits. I've done some studying. I've even looked at Confucianism. You know, and I also went west. Um, looked at Machiavelli. He's kind of fucked up. But he's not super big on morals and whatnot. And he used a lot of people and da da da. And then Spinoza. On his view of God. His view of God is actually really like the Tao. And then Albert Camus. With absurdism. That one I really fuck with. I put a lot of absurdist ideals into my philosophy. But no, like all this to say, there have been wars waged over this. The Middle East. I mean, it's a war ground. And I don't just mean Pakistan and Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran and all that jazz. Also, fucking, the Palestinian border or with Israel or whatever, wherever the fuck it is, right? And the Crusaders and fucking hell, how America has come. I mean, and I gotta throw out we in there because I have some, British, ancestry or some shit, I might. I forgot. Some sort of European white ancestry thrown in the mix. And, it's funny because the Pilgrims, they came to, America for this, our king and, our oligarchy or whatever the kind of, government they had. They fucking, they're so controlling and, the church has so much power, and let's, religious freedom, right? But then they came and fucked up everything, that, the natives had, and like, it's crazy, and, think about how Christianity is spread, and I get, Christians are catching strays, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, think about it, I mean? Like, through missionary work and indoctrination and all that, what I'm saying? Like, and think about, the Vietnam War and, all this shit, we fight over concepts, we murder each other over how to run each other's governments, we put such a high importance on money, like it's, if you think about it, little pieces of paper that, have so much meaning in this day and age, it's ridiculous, and sadly, it's become as necessary as oxygen in some people's lives, in most of our lives, and it's stupid, we're so different from each other, And like I was having a conversation with my boy George, like the monkey but no relation, and you know he was talking. You know we were talking about the concept of equality, and like it got deep as fuck, bro. Like we were talking about like, do you believe all people are created equal? Or people are equal? And that's a vague. That is a big philosophy. That is a massive question. Because most of us would like think. I mean, yeah. Why not? Everyone's human. Da, da, da. But then if you really like dive in, like I gotta flip this on its side because I gotta charge this bitch. But yeah, like if you really think about it, like equality is such a vague term. It's like queer being an umbrella term for everything not straight. And there's a lot of shit under there apparently. And like, because think about it, right? There are people born with differing abilities, right? Um, and like there's so many minute details and whatnot. Like for instance, some of us, are born on the spectrum. Some of us are born with full-blown autism. Some of us are born fully able-bodied, fully able-minded and whatnot. And some of us, are born fully able-bodied, but then born literal psychopaths, sociopaths, and some of us are born, with all these like different shit, different advantages and disadvantages, that are, not only biological but also societal. Like being born white in a Western country, there's a bit of there just is, and like I'm not against you per se, because you're white, and that comes with certain advantages. um you know certain societal norms, the laws that govern you, the police, they'll you know look at you, in a certain way. It's there are certain privileges, in like the way you're experiencing life. The way a white man, experiences life should really be the way, I mean, in terms of convenience level treatment and shit like that, should be the way everyone experiences life, but, it isn't, and I've come to accept that, whatever. Um, and, you know, like there are some people born, I mean, like how different everyone is. There's, like some of us are born genetically gifted for athleticism. There are people born, that gravitate towards certain shit that other people don't. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I don't have a mechanical bone in my body. I've changed a tire one time. I forgot how to do it. You know, technology and shit like that. Like, knowing the little knickknacks and, that's not my shit. And it's not like that stuff hasn't been around me, but it's just something I'm not, it's like an invisible wall. You get what I'm saying? Um, there's some things that people have to try harder to do at this thing than certain other people, you know. And, there's people are born who can't walk, and, so equality is like such a broad term. I don't think we're all created equal, I don't, number one, I don't think we're created in the first place. All right, let's get that out of the way. We're not created, we're grown. We're grown like the trees we see, You know what I mean? The guy plants his seed into a woman, and the woman is like the soil, and her living out her daily life, eating and shit like that, is like equal to the sun getting food from the dirt and whatnot, and the photosynthesis and the sun and all that shit, right? And then we blossom into a fucking child, into a shit, a little ball of softness and not so firm bones, who doesn't know shit about shit. A lot of scientists study the consciousness of a small child, study how a toddler thinks, because ultimately how young children think, their minds are studied so much because we want to get to that, their curious minds, the way they look at the world is different than the way we do, um, than the way, a lot of adults do it. They don't put shit in straight lines, they don't see the world as a bunch of labels and boxes, they see it as what it is, this wobbly, chaotic, beautiful, thing, and a lot of, and it's fucked up, but a lot of dads, they get excited when they hear their baby say dad, dad for the first time. They're like, dad, dad, dad. And, the dads flatter themselves, and, everyone's like, oh shit, he said dad, aha, take that, mom. You know what I mean? He said my name first, fucker, right? Right? But in reality, the kid's saying that. The fuck is that? Who is this thing talking to me? Or he's moving this thing, and this stuff that I can hear is coming out of his face. What is that? They don't have a concept of a who. You know what I mean? Like, their first concept of a who is probably their mom, because that's who they came out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they'll have an inclination towards them. And then after, classic conditioning and da 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 da, you know what I mean? Dad is here, you know what I mean? And, like, yeah, it's crazy, how small our view of the world, like at first it expands and expands and expands and expands and expands, but then the more it expands, it also shrinks down as well, because the more we grow, the more we get interested in certain things, when with interest in certain things, there's also disinterest in other shit. We have fucking, like, again, I'm a very wobbly person, I'm not a mechanical guy, I'm not gonna be an engineer, I'm not gonna be a doctor, I'm not STEM, that shit is gone, okay? That shit is to the, for the birds in my life, okay? STEM is not my thing, it probably will never be my thing, and I can accept that. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm like I'm an artistic person, I sing, I can do a little woo 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 woo, I can hold a note every now and then, make it look cute. I got bars for days, you know what I mean? Throw some poetry, raps out there, da da da. And doing this shit. I'm a philosopher, I'm a writer, these are labels I put on myself because these are shits I love doing. And they just kind of speak to me. You know what I mean? That's just, what they do. Anything artistic, I take nature walks and, like, there's a musical nature about it. And I say it all the time, for those that know me, the birds, the birds sing and trees dance, whenever, sometimes I sit outside, when the wind's blowing and shit, and, the trees are Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like, yeah, go, like, really, like, I mean, it's, I don't know, you know, and fuck, well, I see, I'm on a tangent, you know what I mean, like, I, I don't know, you know, with interest in certain things comes disinterest in certain shit, you know, the more wobbly and artistic I get, the less I desire a straight and narrow. I'm not a straight and narrow guy. I never will be. You know, I'm not clean cut. Da 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 da. Like no. You know, I'm wobbly. You know, I'm not wild. You know what I mean? I'm chill, but in a sense, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, like I don't know, man. Togetherness, you know, is again a social construct. Everything we know is a social construct, and you know, a lot of people want to come back to the kind of way of thought that yeah, you know, that kind of seeing the world, that, you know, how kids see it. You know, I think I've gotten there, or I think I've, you know, come back to my childlike curiosity. You know, I look into shit that has nothing to do with, you know, my school tasks all the time. And even in certain school tasks, I dive deeper into that shit, you know, like my philosophy shit, you know, because of my philosophy class, actually, I, you know, dove into a bunch of out of class shit, you know. But yeah, no, you know, a lot of people, as we get older, we close our minds. You know, we have these rigid values. And, you know, while having a sense of a moral compass is nice, and, you know, values and da 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 da. And it's simpler, kind of. It's a simpler kind of way of thinking. At the same time, makes your life kind of hard because you run into shit that, you know, breaks down your barriers, or, you know, goes against what you believe and see every fucking day. Like, you know, for the more conservative viewing people, or, you know, the more traditional, you know, type of person, you know, with, you know, the traditional nuclear family and all that, you know, whatever, you know, they're seeing, you know, a mixture, you know, of their views being prioritized and also absolutely crushed and demolished. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mix, you know. Um, I really don't remember the point of this shit. Oh, yeah. Um, you know, open your mind, you know. Um, I'm in this program called DMSI, and my, you know, my it's like it stands for Diverse Male Student Initiative, and basically it's this college campus thing at Prince George's where these men, you know, it's like a brotherhood thing, and it's really cool, you know. And my mentor, Brian Hamlin, Brian Heat, you know, author, you know, fucking public speaker, all that shit, right? The way we, what did he say? He said always walking around with an empty cup. I know he got that from somebody else, but I'm saying, you know, he said it. That's who I first, you know. A lot of us walk around like our cups are empty. Um, a lot of us, you know, like to think we know everything, and we don't. In the grand scheme of things, we don't know shit. There are those of us who blind ourselves, thinking they got it all under wraps, but we don't. Never grasp ever anything. And for those, who do, again, for those of us who are like really enlightened and that doesn't mean they know everything there is to know about everything. The Buddha doesn't know everything about everything. Most Buddhas laugh after they like come to their senses. They're like, I don't know what the fuss is all about. They start, like I kind of laugh at death a lot. Not a lot, let's not say a lot, but like, murder, it's fucked up. Like shit, that shit, yeah, it's fucked up, it is. But we all gotta go. We all gotta skedaddle. In an ideal world, we wouldn't die until we're like ready, but again, ideals are so subjective. The way I see the world is different than the way you see the world. The way I look to myself is different than the way I look to you. It's all about perception. It's all, and that's why I'm as casual as I am about so many things. It's all a game. It's all a musical. It's all a show. It's all a sham, We're not going anywhere. And so, in the grand scheme of things, nothing you do matters, but because it's your, basically entire life, at the same time it does matter greatly. So I replaced the word serious in my vocabulary with sincere, because life is too short for seriousness. Life is too short for seriousness. Sincerity has the same strength as seriousness, but without the limiting factor, No one who's serious, you can't be serious without laughter. Nothing's funny when you're serious. So I just stopped being serious, and now I'm a sincere person. And like, with all this subjectivity in the world, I kind of realized that the only view of my life that truly matters and that will ever really matter is mine, and mine only. And the only one who can define my success is me. And the only person that we, define success is you. Define what success means to you is you. We have this idea of success, escaping the rat race and, the Matrix and fucking, and getting that, money and buying buying, our way out. And it's so sad that society's gotten to this point that we have to buy our way out. We have to contribute to the problem in order to escape it. But what if I told you that, true freedom relies on the way you're thinking? If you think about it, you have the only obligation you have. We put ourselves in situations, some of us got families, and, you know, da 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 da. You know, we gotta provide for it, sure. You know, da da da. So, you know, things are a little tricky for that. I can't do too much speaking for you guys. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, I'm not a parent. You know, I'm glad I'm not. There were times when I thought I was going to be. I'm not a parent, thank God. Say that. It's ironic. I'm Buddhist, but, you know, whatever. I'm Zen Buddhist. But, any whoosies. I see, like, and I wrote some of this stuff down. Like, I wrote 30, okay. I had an outline of what I was gonna say, and it was supposed to be, like, no longer than 15 minutes. But this shit is now, like, 40 minutes, right? But I'm just gonna keep fucking going, because why not? Shit, wow. What was Avi saying? What was Avi saying? Yeah, you know, like, freedom. What I mean by spiritual freedom, I'm not even going to talk about, like, metaphysical, you know. Well, number one, in spiritual aspect, the interconnectedness of all things. Yeah, I mean, we're all connected by some shit, you know, abiding force, you know, whatever. And, you know, so there's that. Just throw like a little nugget up there. We're all connected by something, and I think that's why we always flock to, like, religions and da-da-da-da. But in terms of spiritual freedom, what I mean by that is, like, the way you interpret certain shit, you know. A big example of spiritual freedom would be Viktor Frankl, his book, Man's Search for Meaning. You know, he was a psychiatrist who, in, you know, Germany, World War II, all that shit. And, you know, he was a Jew, and he was in, you know, a concentration camp. And this guy fucking, you know, while being, you know, working, slaving, getting beaten, you know, all that shit, you know, witnessing numerous deaths of all variations, you know, he realized his spiritual freedom, you know, through things like, you know, love, you know, or thoughts about his wife and da-da-da-da, and, you know, also, you know, keeping towards his, you know, identity as, you know, a, you know, doctor, you know, and certain shit, you know, there's a lot. I haven't read the book in, like, months, I can't lie to you. I gotta, you know, read it again. But, you know, basically, you know, and he was able to write the book, you know, obviously, because they were, you know, freed whenever the Americans came, and you know, that was a major dub that the Americans took. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. A lot of people, you know, say everything happens for a reason. And while, you know, there are many things that happen, or, you know, people would like to think that everything happens for a reason. It's a mixture of everything happens for a reason and everything happens for no reason. And what I mean by that is, like, some people die just because they die. You know, why do trees grow? I don't know. They just do. You know, why am I alive? I don't know. You just kind of are. You know, why am I talking? I just kind of am, right? You know, and, you know, a lot of us are very uncomfortable with just cause, you know. But if we really think about life as a whole, a lot of it is just because. The universe exists just because it does. There is no purpose in its existence. It just does, you know. a lot of people, we make ourselves feel special by saying, oh, I have a greater purpose and da 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 da. Technically, if you carry the 5, we don't have a reason to be here. What we do is we give ourselves reasons to stay here, during this existence that we didn't ask for. We just found some shit that, we have a deep connection to, and now we're like, okay, this is my shit. Let me do this life thing longer, or, let's just not die, Biologically, our purpose is to literally just make more of us. Like, life is so huge and it's so deep, and in many ways it's complex as fuck, and there's a million things we don't understand, but at the same time it's easy to understand everything, because everything just happens just because it happens. It's really, the world is very paradoxical, oxymoronic, all this shit, and I'm talking a lot, so I think I'm gonna go. But the message is, it'll be all right. There are times when life is gonna suck. All right, there just are. There's, again, life owes nothing to you, so there's that. But you gotta have bad times in order to appreciate the good times. And after a while, there will be a time in your life when you're just kind of at peace. And through my, Zen and spiritual endeavors and I come to realize that there's nothing really to realize. That I'm really one with the world. And by the world, I mean the universe. Just as you, are one with the universe, So there's, maybe chill out. We're too worried about a lot of shit. But if you just take some time to sit and be, I meditate 30 minutes, or I try 30 minutes twice a day, sometimes like 15, sometimes whatever, you know what I mean? I meditate twice a day, and sometimes, or it is, kind of a spiritual thing, but it's also just being, just kind of experiencing the suchness of the world. And I think a lot of us need it, should do that. Just realize, like, this world is so big. Continue to be curious, but don't be so serious about everything. And yeah, I think laugh a little more. A lot of people, have these stoic faces, these stone faces, and, oh, I don't got shit to laugh or smile about. It's not true, A lot of fucked up shit happened in my life, and maybe it's because I'm in a much better place, objectively better place. No, I am, in a much better place in every sense of the word, that, that I laugh at a lot of shit. I laugh at myself a lot. I laugh at a lot of the shit that I think about, you know, because I'm just the funniest fucking person in the world. But yeah, like, just, I don't know. It's kind of funny when you think about it. We're so worried about everything and absolutely nothing at all. And I've stopped worrying, because that sense of worry is, you know, nothing but a string. And there truly are no strings on me. And when you come to realize it, there are no strings on you either. I love you guys. I don't know how I'm gonna get this to you. I might just throw this entire raw footage of me just fucking rambling, just talking, spewing shit out of my face. Or I should do the sensical thing and probably, you know, throw it out there. I mean, edit it and, you know, da-da-da-da. I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, have a good night. Well, it's actually like 2 in the morning. So, like, have a good morning. Or whatever the fuck time it is for you. All right, have a good that. No. Have a good day. Let's do that. All right. So that when you wake up and, you know what I'm saying? All right, bye.